Hello, sweethearts, and welcome to week 6 of the Let's Play Apple Terror competition. Our theme this week, Irresistible. So here's a game that I find irresistible. I mean, I keep getting drawn back into it like it's singing a goddamn masochistic siren song. It's Battletoads on the NES, considered to be the hardest game on the system. I won't dispute that just yet, and even then it's only really a half dispute, but let's look at the synonyms on the card this week. There. Overpowering, overwhelming, and compelling. Now those first two we can understand, considering this game's reputation, but irresistible and compelling? What? Why in the fuck would I be playing one of the hardest games ever made? Well, because it's kind of good. As crazy as it sounds. Chronomaniac wrote a big article about Battletoads way back a couple of years ago, and I'd like to quote a bit of it because quoting is a thing we do now. And I quote, "Battletoads' enduring popularity is not only due to its incredible difficulty, however, it is also one of the best games on the NES, which is certainly saying a lot considering the console's lineup of classic games. Every single level is indeed different, but rather than feeling schizophrenic, it all holds up into a cohesive package, with every level providing a fun and unique experience." Yeah, this game is eclectic as all hell. One minute you're playing a proto beat-em-up, the other you're doing a racing section, the next you're doing a level with absolutely no combat whatsoever. It changes what it is every time. It is an ever-shifting piece of mercury. Unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, that mercury shifts into something that's fucking impossible, and everyone gave up on it 3 levels in, without even daring to scratch the hellish hells that lurk within. But that's what I did in the spring/summer of 2012. And I'm going to play a couple of levels of this game. Just skip to a couple of my favorites. We're going to actually start with the first one, just to show you the deception this game starts you off with. It's basically a Ninja Turtles pastiche. So hey, look at this. We got a beat-em-up style with a rad toad, and his hands turn into giant fists, and they knock the piggies out. Isn't that great, kids? Oh boy. Just like your teenage rad Ninja Turtmans. Goody. And you even get a weapon. Well, the Ninja Turtles had weapons, but all you get is a stick, which was the best weapon in Ninja Turtles 1 on NES, I might add. So, there you go. But this is nothing compared to the reputation this game has. I mean, it lulls you into a false sense of security. You think, oh, well, I can beat this game. It's not so bad. And then you hit level 3 and you hate your life. That's what everyone says. We are going to get to level 3, but first we have to beat this customary fun. Now, these flies will restore your health if you can get them. I didn't get any this time, but that's okay. You only got 6 hits on your health bar. That is not a lot, especially when you consider that, like, pretty much everything in this game after a certain point either kills you in 2 hits or just kills you instantly. And also, you can ride these dragons if you want, but it's actually kind of pointless because you can only really use them for this section with these 3 pigs, and look, this is nothing. Also, yeah, I said 3 pigs. That's not the 3rd pig. That's the 3rd pig right there. Yeah. Trying to be tricky, see? Alright, there you go. You eat the flies because you're a frog, get it? Oh, rare. You cards. I want that life, though, so I'm just going to grab that. And it's our boss fight. And it's in 2nd person, which a Ninja Turtles game, Turtles in Time, later did. So we came full circle with the homage aspect, shall we say. Anyway, this is easy as shit. You just throw 3 rocks in its face, and it's done. There you go. You can go on to level 2, which is trickier, but still you should be able to make it past it. But we're going to skip all that and zip on over to level 3, which is all anyone fucking talks about when they talk about Battletoads. I don't dispute it being one of the hardest games on the NES. I dispute the reasoning for it. The reasoning is basically like this. Well, that turbo tunnel level sure was impossible, and if you play it on 2-player, there's friendly fire always on, so it's even more impossible. Like, this is one of the hardest games on the NES. It's not like Ninja Turtles or Silver Surfer, where it's like, no, you're out of your goddamn mind, and you're just parroting what you've already heard. No. This actually is one of the hardest games ever, but not for the turbo tunnel. Although the turbo tunnel is friggin' difficult. I will admit, by normal person standards, by the monstrous standards required to beat Battletoads, it is a warm comfort. You'll see a bit of that underside later on, but right now I'd like to talk about how Battletoads ended up charming me. It's a fun story as we play this turbo tunnel. So, it was 2012, as I mentioned. I had been playing Super Meat Boy, which is a fantastic little massacre game. We've begun hell, by the way. Every wall in this section will kill you dead if you touch it, so you have to avoid everything. Okay? You get the turbo tunnel. Yeah. Super Meat Boy. Great game. I was going to write a review of it. I wanted to contrast how that game dealt with its difficulty as opposed to something worse, I thought. You have the instant respawns, you have the kindness, so I wanted to contrast it with something hard. I figured, hey, Battletoads, that turbo tunnel sure is hard, which I never played Battletoads as a child, so I never got traumatized with it, but I did play Battletoads and Battlemaniacs, the Super Nintendo one. I rented that a lot. I almost could beat that turbo tunnel, but couldn't get past the final section, which is remarkably similar to the final section of this one. But I loaded it up, expecting to get a screenshot of that turbo tunnel, make a witty comparison, and just have a good time reviewing. Something happened that was unexpected. I learned how to beat this tunnel. I dropped a save state at that final section. I beat it. Reloaded, beat it again. Reloaded, beat it again. Reloaded, beat it again. I did this like 5 or 6 times, and then I made a video. I called it I Am Not a Human Being, and I just showed myself beating it, and then I just went, Jesus fucking Christ! Because, what? You don't do that. And then a thought popped into my little head. Hey, if I can beat this, I wonder how far I can get in Battletoads before I lose my patience with it. For the next week, I was in pure hell. I delved through the depths of this game, and I eventually learned and mastered it. A week. That was all it took to change from man to beast. This part's ridiculous. You gotta jump off of these things. It's nuts. And this is the final. This is this thing. Look at how I move here. I don't even know how to tell you how I'm doing this. I just get into a zone, and I just go whoop, 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 whoop. This is like some Zen bullshit. I don't even know how to explain it properly, but that is the hardest level of Battletoads beaten. And we're going to skip way the hell ahead, because I don't like levels 4 or 5, to level 6, which is a great example of how innovative and eclectic this game can get, and why I find it so goddamn compelling enough to come back to. This is the Snake Pit, or Karnath's Lair, but as you can tell, I can't say that fucking word without lisping like an idiot, so we're just gonna call it the Snake Pit from now on, okay? Okay. So, absolutely no combat is required in this level. You don't need to throw a single punch. All you do is ride these snakes up to a hole at the top of the screen, and there are 4 sections of this. It gets difficult because after the first section, they add a whole bunch of instant death spikes, because this is Battletoads, and instant death is en vogue. Because Rareware, I don't know why they made it hard. The Battletoads feature on Rare Replay just says that the programmers were really good at the game, so they didn't really balance it that well or something. I don't know. I understand why they made their Battletoads arcade game hard, because they had to siphon the quarters, right? So that's something I've written about a lot. That I understand. There's rumors that it was a measure against game rentals. Like, uh-oh, those kids are beating our games too fast, renting it for the weekend. Better make it hard. But I don't know if I really buy that, because even stuff like Castlevania and Mega Man and shit did that. But Battletoads just went a step beyond, as you no doubt can tell. And there are a lot of great videos. One of my favorite things to do is watch Battletoads videos. And I don't mean like top 10 hardest NES list bullshit, because that just infuriates me, because, as I said, all they ever say about Battletoads is Turbo Tunnel, 2-player, impossible, blah, blah, blah. Nobody ever says, for instance, Jesus Christ, what was up with the Terratubes? Or, holy shit, the rat race is fucked. No. But I like watching the Let's Plays. One of my favorites is Diabetes' 2007 Let's Play, which I will admit that I would not have beaten this game without having that as a reference point. But there's a lot of other stuff I love. I won't list them all, but I will list one that I think is really great. And that's Bootsy Beats Battletoads. Bootsy is a friend of James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. He's shown up in a couple of videos and whatnot, but he sat down and beat Battletoads because he is, much like me, monstrously good at games. But I'd say he's a bit better than me because I'm just a tenacious asshole. Bootsy actually knows his shit, so he sits down in this 4-part series and just teaches you how to beat Battletoads. Shows off all the patterns, all the shit you gotta memorize, and just tells you, no. He tears the myth down and says, with persistence, you can beat this. And here's how you do it. Also, this is a glitch I just used to end the snake pit level early. You're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to do more snake stuff, but the hell with it. Anyway, we're moving on to the actual next chronological level, level 7. Which I kind of like. Volkmar's Inferno, but I'm also showing off to show that there's way fucking worse than the Turbo Tunnel. That's why I'm showing this one. Because if you thought the Turbo Tunnel was the be-all end-all of hard and Battletoads, you ain't seen nothing yet until you look at this shit. Okay? Okay. But I do love the Bootsy series for just tearing down the myth and showing that this game is not impossible. It's just really fucking precise. And well, for a lot of people that may be impossible, but I believe in all y'all. If I can do it, any idiot can, I think, because I don't take any stock in my skill whatsoever. But, you see, this game has changed so completely. I mean, we're doing all this platforming stuff. The beat-em-up elements are still there in some sort of force, but it's all just this weird eclectic mix. Unfortunately, the game, yeah, it is way too hard, and it only has 3 continues. I think if it had unlimited continues, it'd be one of the best games ever. It'd be like one of those Massacre games. It'd be a lot like a Battle Kit or what people think the new old style of games are. Oh, I'm sorry, I had something caught in my throat. Yeah, but yeah, I would really love to see a ROM hack that just adds in unlimited continues. I mean, if I knew anything about ROM hacking, I'd do it. It's basically a Game Shark code. You just change a couple of values, I think, and you're golden. Also, this game is really beautiful. Like, look at that background. Look at how that fire is swaying. Holy shit. It's going in parallax and all this stuff. It's great. You can't focus on it while you're playing it because you have to be absolutely narrow-minded in your focus and going through these electric barriers. But you, on the other hand, can just sit back and look at it and say, my god, Rareware knew their shit with the NES. This was in 1991, so this was right at the cusp of the end of the NES era, right before the SNES came out, so yeah, it's great. Also, it has pretty good music. I didn't pause in this video because I didn't need to. A lot of people like that pause beat, and it's funky fresh. And even though I didn't pause, if you like the pause beat, I have a little surprise down below in the description. You can click on it and enjoy. Okay? Also, I'm cheesing this up too, just staying at the bottom of the screen for these next 2 sections is a good idea. The fireballs don't really come downward that much, and when they do, you can just adjust accordingly. And these missiles, they don't actually have hitboxes when they come up, like when they're on the bottom of the screen. It's only when they come down that they can actually hurt you, so it's good, it's good, it's good. Those are the little tricks that I use to survive Battletoads, because God in heaven, you need them. One more thing I should mention before we go. I actually have a card of this game, but it's cursed. How do I know that? 2 reasons. 1, my bank account balance after I bought it was $6.66, the fucking number of the beast. And 2, every time I have played that thing, that actual card, on console, a family member has had to go to the hospital. Like, at this point, I'm afraid of touching it again. I'm afraid I'm going to kill somebody playing it. And yet, I'm still playing the emulated version, because even though it's a hard-as-fuck game that is way too goddamn difficult for its own good, it's beautiful, it's eclectic, and, to me, irresistible and compelling. So, zoom! We're out of here, and that was week 6. Good night, kids. Sleep tight.